DC versus Vampires, issue 9, James Tynion IV and Matthew Rosenberg writing, with Otto Schmidt on the art. So we're getting near the ending of this now, and we have the three different plans playing out, and we sort of jump between them throughout the issue. So we kick off with Smallville, where the human farms are being run that Green Arrow's coming in to try and stop, and Buana Beasts is one of the vampires. Oliver burns them all in the barn on the Kent farm.
but I need a survivor, so go tell your queen was here. That was a baller line. I like that.
Yeah.
Also, leave it to Rosenberg to throw Grifter in here. I know he couldn't help himself.
Oh, that's later on. Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, I appreciate that, because I was like, this guy, that's got to be him, right?
Yeah.
He's wearing the red bandana.
So we have Oliver's stuff, which I'll sort of stick the Oliver stuff on its own first. Where he ends up like killing someone outside the fence, and Grifter's there and gives him some information. It turns out the leader of this camp is Hawkman. We find out later on. And Oliver makes this big stand. We also get, I do like the introduction to him during Grifter's scene though, because he's kind of like impersonating the tumbleweeds in the background, and then kind of comes out and he's like wearing this big bushy like coat to try and pretend to be foliage. So we're getting like proper hunter Oliver Queen here.
It's like a ghillie suit that people wear in the woods to hunt Bigfoot or whatever. So
but yeah, he's looking for the leader of this camp, which turns out to be Hawkman. So we get a big reveal of that towards the end of this show.
And the whole Hawkman Oliver Queen dynamic too. I love that. I love that they don't like each other. So them being opposite ends here is pretty good.
Yeah, and then of course the stuff on the boat with Supergirl and Steel and all that going to Australia to try and help get Supergirl's powers back and get access to the sun again.
Yeah, with Black Manta.
Black Manta, although we get a big reveal this issue about who that actually is, because we just assumed it was Black Manta. Yeah. And when Aquaman shows up from the water, Black Manta takes off the helmet, and it turns out it's Mira who is wearing the Black Manta suit.
Black Mira. So I like that reveal. It wasn't just a shock factor thing. It was that, Arthur got corrupted. She had to get out of there. And the one thing she could do is put on, the enemy suit. And I like to think that it keeps her safe from vampire stuff. But that action sequence was pretty well done. I think for me, that was Schmidt's high point of the issue.
Yeah. I think the high point for me was probably all the Oliver stuff, because there was a lot of great stuff where he was like firing arrows, and it was like one panel where he's standing with lots of arrows in the ground around him. It just looks really good. Maybe it's just because Otto Schmidt did the Green Arrow run with Percy that I was just getting some of the good old times.
That makes sense.
Because he kills like a big brute. I don't even know who this character is. I think he was a new guy.
I don't remember.
Loose Cannon, who then calls Loose Change after he takes him out. But it does look like Jaina bites the dust. I mean, maybe we'll find out she's okay next issue, but it looks like Arthur makes her explode when she's being a water bear.
So that's what got me, is that usually like we've seen that she couldn't she survived in water, right? Because she can take the form. But there was blood in it this time. So I don't know if it's looking good for Jaina in her revenge, Yeah,
she might have bit the dust. But no, I have like a bit of a fight sequence, but it does end in a bit of a cliffhanger though, because Kara gets knocked out into the water, and she seems to be like pulled down by a part of the boat she's tied to it. So that's her predicament. The Batgirl, Harley, Black Canary, and Frankenstein gang that are trying to get into Gotham and having no luck. They're basically bickering at Harley for not knowing any good ways in. And Damien shows up at the end and like, wait, but you're a vampire. And it's like, yeah, I'm a vampire, but I'm also your only hope of killing Dick. So let's go. So obviously the audience, we've been set up that Damien's still working for the good side, but obviously these characters, this is news to them. So yeah, no, it's a really fun issue. I think the Green Arrow stuff's probably the highlight. I think that's where the best art is. I think it's where the pacing's the best. I think the other plots are building up to some big stuff for the next couple of issues. Obviously, this all feels like these last like 4 or 5 issues of the whole thing feel like these are all just going to be the continuous stories that are happening through all of them. So Yeah, I'm still having a fun time though, and I'm liking just some of these characters getting the spotlight is always that's one of the fun things about these books. The same thing with Deceased, where all of a sudden some B and C list characters who don't normally get to be the central figures. Green Arrow, I wouldn't put that far down the list, but Green Arrow's not had a book now in like 3 years, so he kind of is owed some time to be the center of attention.
There's that. There's Jaina, them elevating Jaina up because of what happened to her brother. So I hope she's, gonna be able to reform, but who knows at this point.
Yeah, Supergirl's getting to be important. So it's good stuff. I had a fun time.
Yeah.
All right, we giving the book?
I mean, it's 7.5.
I'll nudge up. I'll say 8 out of 10. I think it was a pretty solid issue.